Anyways, so now, speaking of bitter, though, I'm a little bit bitter about The View. Because when we said Biden was too old, they were like, how dare you, right? When we said there should be an open primary, they said, how dare you? When we said, hey, the Democrats are asking for loyalty oaths and we're not supposed to be the authoritarian party, we're supposed to be more open, they're like, how dare you? Now all of a sudden The View is like, oh my God, you know what? Why didn't anybody tell us Biden was too old?
Yeah, they'll go back
Okay,
to the
come
loyalty
on.
oaths, believe me.
Of course,
They will.
The View is the masters of loyalty oaths. If you don't pledge for whoever is the establishment corporate robot, they'll take your head off on The View. So, Joy, I appreciate your new opinion, but it's very, very different than your old opinion, which is like a minute ago. And
they flip-flop every single day. I agree with him on that. I don't necessarily agree with the Young Turks on a lot of things when it comes to politics and what they stand on. But I think that in this instance, he's being objective enough to point out the fact that The View, everybody knows that The View is one of the most hypocritical shows ever, that they flip-flop on issues, that they switch up depending on who it is that they like at the time, that they switch up based off of whoever it is that they hate at the time also, because Trump can do something right and then he can absolutely prove that they are hypocritical, and then they'll move the goalposts into a completely different conversation and mysteriously forget about the things that they said that also applies to the very same people, such as the pardon, right? Such as Biden being too old, such as Nancy Pelosi, such as all of these different things that you see playing out. And they mysteriously, I'm not forgetting, they mysteriously had no conversation when it was the hottest topic at the time, just a few weeks ago, about how Kamala Harris was on vacation. And then she came back from Hawaii and she did that drunk thank you message to the supporters that that was absolutely positively disastrous. Even people that was on the left couldn't avoid pointing out that Kamala Harris looked crazy. And more importantly, as we even have these conversations about the debt ceiling, and now the Senate has surpassed it, now that Congress has done whatever it is that they're doing and they didn't raise the debt ceiling and they voted to give farmers the monies that they need and hurricane victims the money that they need and keeping the government open until for the next 3 months until Trump get in office, they never hold Kamala Harris and Biden accountable for the fact that they were completely absent the entire time, but then they want to say that Elon Musk is really the president of the United States of America. Let's continue. It's crazy.
Dramatically different. By the way, there's one thing I disagree here. I think Kamala Harris will probably win in a cakewalk for governor.
No!
Facts.
Okay.
No! What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I'm telling you the reality, whether you like it or not.
What are you doing?
Democratic voters in California love to obey. And so
oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm gonna move, Cenk. I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna move.
I'm not saying I'm in favor of it. I'm telling you
so
what's,
these guys are
like if
the
Democratic Party said, we anoint Kamala Harris, a giant percentage of Democrats in California would go, yes, we obey. We will take the loyalty oath. It doesn't matter how bad she is.
This state cannot survive another incompetent Democrat leading it.
Leading it. Democrat like Kamala.
No, we just can't. Okay, like anyway, so like people are egging her on. Okay, apparently she's like in a wait and see mode.
No, she's gonna run.
How about you wait and see like your way out of public life and go do what you're supposed to do. Go work in the private sector, go do the lobbying thing, whatever it is, but do not run as governor of California. Yeah. Do not.
So
that's gonna happen. She's not going away from the public sector at all. Her only two options, according to multiple different reports from people that's inside of her camp, is she going to either A, run for governor of California for 2026 to replace Gavin Newsom, which obviously Gavin Newsom was completely incompetent and left the state in a budget deficit, a severe budget deficit, or is she going to wait and plot and plan and put herself in a position to run for president of the United States of America in 2028? Now, the reason why that's disastrous is because, and why I believe personally she's going to run for governor of California, is because number one, it's an easy layup, and it also leaves the possibility open for her to run for president of the United States of America in the future. It's an easy layup. You take the low-hanging fruit. You take the thing that's in front of you. One bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. It's an easy layup, and people in California 100% would support because they're more focused on popularity versus the person that's the most competent for the job, which is one of the reasons why California stayed blue, it's an easy layup. Why would she move over into there when she can control California and still keep her options open and keep her visibility for president of the United States of America in the future? Not for 2028, but 2032, 2036. Oh yeah, she gonna show up. Absolutely. The problem with waiting for 2028 for president is no way in hell that she ever beats JD Vance. No way in hell that she ever beats Vivek Ramaswamy. And JD Vance is going to be anointed the chosen one. He is an expert. JD Vance, washing everybody. There is nobody that can stand in front of JD Vance on the Democratic side and survive. That's number one. Number two, they would have to run through a primary, which means that the same thing is probably going to happen that happened in 2019 when Tulsi Gabbard absolutely ate her lunch. And then she was selected as the diversity, equity, and inclusion pick for vice president of the United States of America because, you know, even though I don't think that Biden beat Trump, because there's no way you're going to tell me that he got 12 million more votes than Obama, you know, that's not going to happen. So I personally predict and believe it is right in front of our face. I've been saying it for the last few weeks since the reports came out that she wanted to run for governor of California, that she is going to run for governor of California. Absolutely, 100%. I believe in my heart, and I'll probably, if it's a way for me to bet on it, I'll bet on it tomorrow. If there's a way for me to bet on it, I'll bet on it tomorrow that she's going to run for president or governor of California versus president of the United States of America. But certainly she's going to stay in the public sector. So anybody in California that's complaining about it, buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to happen. This is playing out right in front of your face.
Look, here's the thing that they still won't say that is definitely true, which is that she was a disaster. She was a terrible candidate, but it's still to this day with all their little, you know, oh, golly gee, I wish somebody would have told us, right? But they're not saying the core thing, which is she was a talking robot and she could not answer normal questions like a human being. She had her scripts ready and she would just take the script, her talking points, and match it to any question that you asked her.
She called it discipline.
It was Sarah Palin-esque. Yes, I said it, and yes, she definitely deserved it. And no, we should want no part of her for any campaign at all, okay? And I don't know what coconut pilled means. That's a thing that people made up that doesn't even make any goddamn sense. Okay, and finally on Linda Lee, the person say, so look, she's more conservative than I am, way more, and she's more from the donor class, etc. But at the same time, we don't have to drive everybody out of the party, right? So she has a different opinion on immigration, so what, right? And it turns out that was the majority opinion in America, even though portions of it that I might not agree with. But I brought her up because she said a word that a lot of people are feeling. She said, I feel liberated. And that's because the establishment in the Democratic Party is so oppressive that if you disagree 1% in either direction or any direction, they'll take your head off. And then after the election, pretending as if they're open-minded is just garbage.
That's what The View does. But more importantly, the Democratic Party is so left and it's so liberal that we don't even identify with it. Nobody can identify with the party of their fathers and their grandfathers for what the Democratic Party stand for. They're more focused on trying to allow for y'all to delete babies and spending $1.5 billion on marketing ads and getting rappers and entertainers to endorse them, while at the same time running away from the issues and the problems and just repeating talking points as though that's going to get them elected. It doesn't work. It didn't work. I think that Kamala Harris versus Trump should be a case study for years to come. And if you didn't learn from that as a politician or as a voter, if you didn't learn from that and realize that that was one of the funniest things that you've ever seen, and that Ray Charles could see that she was going to lose that election, then you are absolutely disillusioned. But I want to know what y'all think. Do y'all think that she's going to run for governor of California? Or do you think that she's going to possibly run for president of the United States of America or go into the private sector? Let me know what y'all thoughts are. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.